Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And special guest this week, James.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, you guys, for having me back.
Yeah, no worries, man. Folks may recognize James from some of the reviews him and I have done on Coming Distractions. So we thought we'd bring him in for the big show. So there is not a lot of news this week, but the few things that are going on, there's quite a bit to talk about. So we got a lot and checked out. So we're going to start there. James, you watched Fear Street, the Fear Street trilogy?
Yeah, if you guys don't know, it's a trilogy of movies released over 3 weeks. One 2 weeks ago, one last week, and one tomorrow. And they're all kind of adaptations of the Fear Street series from R.L. Stine. I think it's his less known series versus Goosebumps, but I would be less surprised if you told me there were 200 stories versus 50, because that man put out a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the whole basic kind of thing is that there are these two towns, Shadyside and Sunnyvale. Shadyside has like all the real kind of people. There's poverty, there's crime, there's marital issues, there's everything. And the other side is just kind of a mean-spirited Pleasantville. And kind of like...
I'm already intrigued by that.
And so like Pitch Black, where something happens every 23 years, in this town, every so many years, somebody on the shady side goes crazy and starts murdering people. Sometimes it's 2 people, sometimes it's over 20. And you never know what's going to happen. You just know it's coming, that side of town is cursed. And so it's about this latest batch of teenagers taking on the curse. And so it starts out in 1994 and does kind of like an homage to Scream and things like that. And these kids are the newest batch facing the curse, and they have to deal with their own stuff. And the story ends up going back to 1978, where we get a movie kind of like the second Friday the 13th. And then after that, it goes all the way back to 1666, and you get like a puritanical horror movie, kind of like The Witch or something like that.
Interesting.
And it's all connected to this witch that was hung in that town 400 years ago and trying to get revenge.
Oh, all right. So would you recommend this? Oh, go ahead, Micah.
Let me ask you a question. How, like, this is based on like R.L. Stine work, and I'm presuming that this was like, if you read Goosebumps in middle school, then you read Fear Street in high school. But how, like, graphic? How, like, if it's based on like a YA novel, like do they hold back on like the gore and the killing and the subject matter, or is it like a straight, like, not necessarily a slasher, but like you equate it to Scream, like an homage to Scream for the first one? Like, is it bloody? Like not that Scream was super bloody, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, they definitely kind of raise the level. I didn't see the exact rating, but if like it was in theaters, I would say it would be R-rated. Like,
wow.
One character gets murdered by being thrown into a bread slicer, like industrial bread slicer at a store.
Okay, all right, you're speaking my language.
Crazy torture.
Yeah, they definitely up it. Like they bring everything kind of forward from like YA. Like, the group is more diverse than it would be. They got their own like fast family kind of thing going on. There's a little bit of everything, and the more violence. There are people of like the main couple is a gay couple instead of like the jock and the cheerleader, like you would expect from something that was written 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Look, I mean, the fact that it's a little bit more grown up gives me interest, though I am a coward, so that might keep me away. All right. You also watched the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is the most convoluted title of all time.
Yeah, it's as silly as the rest of the movie. I mean, it's F9 level serious and silliness.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of like a Ryan Reynolds stereotype gets back together with a Sam Jackson stereotype, and they yell at each other. And they're here to protect the angry Latina stereotype played by Selma Hayek, who's Sam Jackson's wife. And they're all trying to protect her and Europe from this Grecian James Bond villain named, where is it, Aristotle Papadopoulos.
Yeah, good boy. Wow.
And he's played by the like renowned Greek actor Antonio Banderas. I was thinking when I was watching the movie, I'm like, I wish they would have made him Scottish. So it would just be like a real turn on Sean Connery and Highlander. As
Right. That's hilarious.
But it's a pretty fun movie. The comedy is the comedy. You know, Ryan Reynolds, you know, Sam Jackson, not trying to do anything different. And so if you like that, you'll probably like it. Even the action is played more comedically than a lot of action movies. So like if you get into it and you're not vibing with the comedy in like the first 15 minutes, just turn it off. You're just going to be angry by the time it ends.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't watch the first one, and I felt like I already knew the movie before going into it. You know, like you said, like Ryan Reynolds is playing the Ryan Reynolds character, Sam Jackson's playing the Sam Jackson character. And I guess that was probably, I was like, I've seen this story before. But maybe like now that you're telling me it's like Fast 9 level silliness, then, well, okay. Like, then why not at that point?
The goal of the villain in this one is to steal this diamond tip drill, go to the bottom of the ocean and wipe out all the electric grids for all of Europe except Greece, because he wants them to return to like the pillar of civilization in that region.
That's the stupidest villain move of all time. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I guess that's as good as whatever the hell the villain's plot was in Fast 9 of like one satellite, we can take down everything. Like, okay, sure. That's fine. You also watched Shmigadoon.
Yeah, so Shmigadoon maybe reminds you of Brigadoon, the old musical, and that's the point. This is a new Apple Plus series that starts streaming as people listen to this. It's a 6-episode series, about half hour an episode, so it's a pretty easy watch unless you just hate musicals. But the basic idea is a couple of doctors, Keegan-Michael Key and his girlfriend, played by Cecily Strong from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
they're going through the woods, trying to like bring the magic back to their relationship, trying to do something new, and they end up stuck in this town of Shmigadoon, which is everybody there is living a musical, and it's kind of crazy. It says it's like an homage to things from the 1940s, but it's older than that because like you see the kid running by with like the stick and a wheel. There are no cars, so I'm like, is this like the 1840s?
Right.
But and so they get to town and they're like, well, this place is crazy. I want to leave immediately. But to leave, you can only cross the bridge out of town if you're with your true love, and they can't get out of town. They're like, I thought you said you loved me. I thought you said you loved me. And it leads to a whole bunch of issues. And then like, all right, do we date around? Do we work on a relationship? What do we do?
Oh, interesting. Did you like this?
Yeah, I liked it a little bit more than I expected. It's like created by Lorne Michaels, and it has Cecily Strong, who's not my favorite SNL character. So it had a few issues coming into it, and it's weird. The production design is like made to look like you're at the theater and like, oh, look, paper trees and things. So it kind of took me out of it. My wife who watched it with me, she liked it because of that theater experience.
Right.
But I was just like, hey, that tree's too fake. Why is it so fake? And I'm like, distracted every now and then, but it's geared towards like the people who have to drag their partners to musicals, so they try and make it fun. Even the songs are all comedic, and there are songs about like sex ed and being a woman, having a woman doctor and stuff like that they're not used to.
All right, that's cool. Look, I mean, Keegan-Michael Key, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of his of some of his comedy. It's just not really my personal type of comedy. But I think he has like he's weirdly, since Key and Peele, been involved in some things that I thought have been rather clever. I was personally bummed that Friends from College ended on Netflix. Like, I thought that was a really good show with a really great cast, and it had enough sort of adult level comedy / like introspective stuff that made it really interesting. And I thought he was really quite good in it. So yeah, look, I hope this works out for him. Like, I turned out to be more of a fan of his once he got away from the Key and Peele stuff.
He was also in that Forrest Whitaker Christmas movie. I can't think of the name, but he was the villain in that.
Oh, really? I definitely don't know that one.
Yeah, I have no idea what that.
You know what? I don't think I want to know.
I'm
A
surprised
Forrest
it was
Whitaker
pretty-
Christmas movie? Wow.
It was on Netflix. It was maybe exclusively like black cast, or at least all people of color, I think, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah. The I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it. It was a big deal. Like John Legend, like produced it and wrote songs for it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle.
Oh, okay.
My wife watched it. She said she really enjoyed it.
I don't like Christmas things.
Yeah, that's how much his atheism is a part of him. He's just like, nope, I don't even like Christmas.
No, I don't. No, I like Christmas. I just don't want to hear any of the music or watch any of the movies. I don't enjoy them. I find them annoying. I like Die Hard. That should count for something. See, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. All right, Micah, you watch Willy's Wonderland, which you refused to tell me what it was before the show.
Yeah, I watched Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland is, hold on, let me get everything. It's directed by Kevin Lewis with a screenplay by G.O. Parsons, and it is produced and stars Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage.
Oh no!
And
oh, I know what this is. Oh no! Oh god! This is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, right?
This is basically the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Okay,
right?
good God.
And look,
I can't believe you watched this. Please
look. This is Nicolas Cage in the vein of Drive Angry, right?
Oh, all right. That's my favorite Nicolas Cage.
So it's ridiculous. It's not a movie that I would recommend.
Really?
I've never done drugs, but I have to imagine that being high while watching this movie would make it amazing. Look, it's a B movie, yo. It's a B movie about Nicolas Cage playing a man who says not one word in this film.
Really?
The whole 1 hour and 29 minutes, Nicolas Cage does not utter one word. And he's beating up animatronic animals that have been possessed by child killers. What's not to like?
Wow. Yeah. All right. I didn't know he didn't speak in the movie. That's insane.
He doesn't. And look, this is the thing with Nicolas Cage, right? Like, why do you like Nicolas Cage? First of all, Nicolas Cage is an Academy Award winning actor.
Okay, please stop saying that.
You better put some respect on his name.
Apparently.
And two, Nicolas Cage, he's a very interesting guy. And when it comes to the roles that he picks, and you know, he said he wanted to do this movie because he was intrigued about doing a role where he didn't speak at all. So Nicolas Cage takes big swings.
He does.
Swings so big they will knock you off your feet because a lot of them miss and very few of them hit. I think this is like a single for me.
No, I mean, the talk is that Pig is quite amazing.
Yeah, I'm curious. Curious. I do want to see Pig. But that's one of the reasons why I watched this is because, Pig is amazing. Let me see what else is in Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage's catalog. And this was the most recent that I saw that was available to me. Look, this movie stars a bunch of people that I do not know. A lot of them do not have links on Wikipedia.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Which is fine. But the movie is fun. Watching Nicolas Cage beat up an animatronic gorilla in a bathroom, and then he does like Mortal Kombat style fatalities on these things. He's having a good time, man. He's having a good time. But it's a one trick pony. And it does that one trick, but then it does it again, and it keeps doing it for 1 hour and 29 minutes. And that's my big problem. Right?
Okay. I'm not mad, by the way, that this is only an hour 20 minutes. Because if it was any longer than that, that's too long.
I think it needs to be shorter. I think it needs to be shorter.
This feels like maybe a YouTube, like a little YouTube video, like 40 minutes.
45 minutes. I'm good. I'm good for 45 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but if you are the type of person who partakes in the stickiest of the icky, and you appreciate Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage like I do, then I would be curious to hear your thoughts about it while, lifted, so to speak.
You know what? I mean, I don't have anything to do tonight after the show, so
it's wild.
so maybe I will. Yeah, I'm looking at his filmography. He has done so many movies. Like, he had like a normal career where he would have like 1 or 2 movies a year for a while. And then like around 1999 or 2000, he'd have like 4 movies. And then like almost every year he consistently works every year. He has 3 to 4 movies every single year.
And look, man, like,
wow.
A lot of these movies probably wouldn't be made if it weren't for him putting his name on it.
That's true. James, you were going to say something?
Yeah. How much do you think he's getting paid for these movies? I mean, he got that $6 million IRS bill back in 2009. Has he not paid that off yet?
There's no way he paid it off. There's no way. If you look at his filmography, there's a lot of so it has the name, the role, and then it has notes. There are a lot in the latter part of his career that say direct to VOD. Okay, like a lot. The one thing I will say is his biggest issue is that he doesn't know how to say no. Like, that's just not a thing that he does. But I did hear once that a lot of like lower budget films, as they make posters before they cast stars for them, right? And they take their pitch ideas to like Cannes Film Festival or something like that, and a lot of them will Photoshop people like Nicolas Cage onto the poster to get him to be interested. So like that's a play of like, Willy's Wonderland, maybe that could be you. Check out this poster, and he's like, I like that idea. I'm gonna be in your movie. like that's it. Like that's just playing to his enormous ego, which is hilarious to me. But God love him. I like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
he's a crazy person, but I love him. I do. All right. At least 2 of us. James, did you watch Gunpowder Milkshake?
I did not.
Okay. So Mike and I did watch Gunpowder Milkshake that is readily available on Netflix right now. This is about a hit woman who had a mom who was a hit woman. And so basically her mom abandoned her. The mom played by Lena Headey. So later in life, as this main woman is an assassin, basically she ends up going and saving this young girl whose father she mistakenly killed. And basically her employer's like, if you do that, we're going to come after you. And then a bunch of other people come after her. It's an interesting stylized shooter movie. Like, it's like Shoot 'em Up, basically, if you remember, with Clive Owen, which is wild to watch Clive Owen do a movie like that where he is like such a very serious actor now. You should watch The Nick, Micah. And
watch it when you watch
shut up.
Succession.
I already finished the session. I forgot to put it on the docket. Yes, I did. Ask me anything. One of them eventually succeeds to the role of CEO. That is not true.
See, this is get out of here. Get out of here.
They're very rich. I know that. Yeah, exactly. In your face. Yeah, it's a good shoot 'em up. I mean, it's really stylized. You know, there's a lot of like sort of bright colors and things like that. Some like fun slow motion moments, some like pretty violent moments, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It sort of weirdly reminds me somewhere between Shoot 'em Up and Hotel Artemis, if you remember that movie a couple years ago. But I dug it. It was fine. I don't think it's anything to like write home about, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah, women can star in just like junk food cinema also, right?
That's exactly
that's what this is. Like this is, if you like those John Wick movies, you'll like this. It's hyper stylized action. It's really bright colors. Look, the only thing that I want from movies like this is I want to see something that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, that's it.
And there are a couple instances in some of these action scenes that I haven't seen before. And I'm like, okay, I can buy this, right? Towards I mean, if you like Six Underground,
oh yeah, this is right in your wheelhouse.
That's what this is, yo. Like,
yeah, she has a scalpel taped to her hand and a gun taped to the other hand because her arms aren't working, and she has a fight. It's great,
right? Like that's what I was talking about. I'd never seen that before,
right? That was new.
And you know, some of the older actresses, some of the older actors are kicking ass and taking names.
Right.
Towards the end, when everyone is like the big shootout. You know, seeing Angela Bassett and Carla Gugino, and Michelle Yeoh, just kicking ass and taking names. And doing like this movie's really violent. Like this movie's like hyper violent. Like Angela Bassett did something with a claw hammer, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, right?
There's a lot of close up shots of the head.
Man. Like somebody at one point, one of these women made a dude trip and fall onto his knife, but like in the head. Like it's wild, yo. Like it was a fun movie. It has like a little like jive ass like sisterhood message, but it doesn't really resonate. And maybe it's because I'm a guy, but it doesn't really. I don't know if it would resonate with women either. But
I mean, it feels like they were far more concerned with the action beats and the sort of stylized, you know, general feel of the movie than any real plot. And that's not because it's women. It's just because that's not what they gave a shit about. Like they just didn't. And that's fine. Like, look, I'm not looking for John Wick to tell me about anything but shooting. Like, you know, so it's okay to keep it there. It's totally fine. By the way, we didn't mention who the star was. That's Karen Gillan, who plays, what's her face in Guardians? Nebula. Thank you. So yeah, I thought she was good, right? I thought she was pretty good. Some of the dialogue is a little ham-fisted. It feels a little heavy-handed. I'm like, all right, like who wrote these lines? But again, once the action gets started, where she fights the three dudes like in the bowling alley, which is in the trailer, that's like a pretty fun fight. It feels like the scene in Kill Bill where the screen goes dark because they were killing so many people and there was so much blood. There was like, we can't actually show this in theaters. It was kind of stylized in the same way, but it was fun. So yeah, look, if you want to turn your brain off, fun action movie, Gunpowder Milkshake on Netflix is not bad. It's not. After that, I watched Good on Paper. So this is a really interesting movie. I dug quite a lot. So this was this is written by Eliza Schlesinger, who's a comedian, and it stars her as well. And it's a romantic comedy of sorts about this woman. She's basically playing herself. She plays a woman named Andrea Singer, but she's playing herself basically. And she meets this guy named Dennis, played by Ryan Hassan. If you don't know who he is, if you've ever watched Party Down, he's fucking hilarious, right? And she meets this guy, and he's like this like perfect guy. He's like a dorky guy, but he's a hedge fund guy. You know, he's like doing his thing. He's got money, and he's like really cool and attentive and this nice guy. But he seems to be lying about everything. Oh, I went to Harvard, or I went to Yale. I did all this, and and it's like, okay, these things are kind of not lining up. And when he's kind of challenged on things, he kind of avoids them. And apparently this is like kind of this is kind of a true story that really happened to her. Right. And so she's like out to figure out why this guy is lying about everything and sort of what's the deal. It also has Margaret Cho in it. Who I am not a fan of comedic wise. I'm just not. But I actually thought she was quite good in this. And it's funny because I used to like Margaret Cho a lot, and then all of a sudden I was just like, nah, this is not really for me. But everybody's pretty good in it. And it's a nice movie about what it is to date and like people who present one thing and are a different thing. And then just about a woman like trying to get her life together as she's trying to make it. But yeah, Good on Paper is on Netflix. Highly recommend. Very, very funny. So, and it's got like this, it's got a Seinfeld thing in it, right? Where they intersperse parts of her stand up into the movie as well. So where she's kind of referencing things that are happening in the movie proper. So yeah, it's pretty good. Next up, I watched I Care a Lot. Yo, this movie is amazing. Not since Thank You for Smoking have I enjoyed a dark comedy as much as I did this one. This one starring one of my favorite actresses of all time, who is just not in enough things. She is, let me rephrase that, one of my favorite villain actresses of all time, Rosamund Pike. I just feel like why isn't she in more stuff? Like she should be. And she basically plays this con woman who shoves old people into old folks' homes and just steals money from them through like court-appointed guardianship. And she mistakenly grabs the wrong woman who has a connection to some very dangerous people. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Micah, you had seen this before.
Yeah, I enjoy a movie where there are no heroes, and
there are no good people in this movie.
No, there really aren't. And I agree with you, Rosamund Pike. You know, she could be typecast as a villain in anything, and I will go see it. And I really enjoyed that movie. The one thing that I didn't enjoy was the very end.
Oh no,
no, I didn't enjoy it. I think that it wraps a bow on things,
right?
And I understand why it ended the way it ended,
right?
But no. I don't like that ending.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I totally understand.
All right. So I have a question.
Yes.
About Care a Lot. Is like, I like a movie that doesn't have any good people, but sometimes it's like people I hate, so I can't watch it because they're all bad people who I hate. Are these at least likable bad people?
Oh, okay. Rosamund Pike? No, you hate her. You're like, kill her. Do it, please. Why are you not killing her? Right? Like, that's how you feel. Like, the thing that's really terrifying about it, like, there are some characters I liked. I like Peter Dinklage's character. Like, I did. I thought he was quite good as this, like, very subdued guy who had these, like, fits of rage, which were great. He had, like, a Magatu moment where he, like, throws a coffee practically on somebody. But, like, the thing about it is everyone is kind of a piece of shit. Like, they just... And what you're really rooting for is people to just get their comeuppance. Like that's it. Like there's no specific person you're rooting for. But no, Rosamund Pike, you're like, I mean, there's a number of times I'm watching this with my wife. I'm like, she's a stone cold bitch. Like she's horrible. Like it's one thing, and I'm not advocating this or think it's okay, but it'd be one thing to take advantage of older people who actually had dementia and like they don't know they're being taken advantage of, right? That's a scumbag thing to do, but at least you're like weirdly not harming someone who is aware. It's another thing to take people who don't have dementia and say they do and then shove them into an old folks home and they're screaming, yo, I'm not crazy. It's like, that's what a crazy person would say. Lock the door. Yo, that's fucked up. But that's what her character does. So, like, you don't like her. And, like, when things happen to her or people around, I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. Like her doctor, I was like, that's fine. That's fine.
It's very satisfying seeing these people get what's coming to them. for the most part. And but yeah, nah, like there are no anti-heroes, right? Like
no, this is not a Black Adam feature.
You hate everybody. Everybody is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Look, I got to tell you, man. She won a Golden Globe for this. She did get nominated for an Academy Award for Gone Girl. Yeah, yo, she's really good. Like, she's crazy good. She should be the woman starring in that BET movie, Karen. Like, I would buy it. I would 100% buy it. I'd be like, all right, this looks bad, but Rosamund Pike is going to deliver an Oscar worthy performance. But instead, it's going to be garbage.
She's going to be busy. She's getting a new Amazon Prime series, if you didn't know.
Oh, really? What is it about? Do you know?
It's called Wheel of Time. It's magic and whatnot.
Oh, that's in the isn't that in the Gunslinger universe?
I don't know.
Or is this maybe this is something different. Oh, okay. Oh.
But it's not even out yet, and Amazon's already said green light for season 2, so it's going to be around for a while.
Look. Oh, and she's a star too. Great.
Yeah.
That's fine by me. I will watch it. Didn't know that. I do like that she did get her start in Micah's favorite movie, which is pretty cool. Die Another Day. She played Miranda Frost in a movie.
I'm aware.
No, I want to let you know this. Miranda Frost in a movie about like cold weather. It was really good. That's the Invisible Car movie, right?
Yes, that's the Invisible Car.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, it's Moonraker, and then it's that one right below. All right, Micah, you watch The White Lotus.
Yeah, The White Lotus is a satire on HBO. It follows the vacations of various hotel guests over the span of a week as they relax and rejuvenate in paradise, but with each passing day, a darker complexity emerges in these picture-perfect travelers, the hotel's cheerful employees, and idyllic locale itself. So
I heard this is very good.
This is another HBO show where rich people get up to some shenanigans. And the first episode is a little slow. It starts off with a dead body to try and hook you to figure out, who died. But it kind of goes on from there. These rich people who come to Hawaii to stay at this resort, they are, a bunch of stereotypes, right? Like one woman, who is it? Connie Britton. She plays like a CEO of a wellness company. Jennifer Coolidge is in it. She got her wealth. I think it's implied that she got her wealth from inheritance. There's a bunch of other rich people here. Jake Lacy is like a Trump kid, right? Like he got all his wealth from his dad, who is in real estate, right?
Wow. Is he also 6'7", like Barron?
And all of these people are just kind of. It's another HBO show where rich people are getting into shenanigans, but in this time, you see how the hotel staff, who are not rich at all, have to deal with them. Okay. And Murray Bartlett plays the manager of the hotel and resort. He's explaining to this new trainee, like, yeah, you got to treat these people like babies, like the big babies that they are, right? I mean, sometimes you got to, right. And like I said, the first episode is a little slow, but at the end of the first episode, when they do like in the weeks ahead, they show a trailer for the upcoming shows, and it looks like it kicks into gear. Okay. So I'm going to stick with it. And it's only 6 episodes, so I imagine they gotta, get to the point.
Right.
So this first episode is a lot of setup, but I think I'll stick with it because I like HBO shows, and it gives me something to watch on Sunday nights. So
I've heard good things, so I will try to I'll try to knock that out. It's my guess is it's an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour.
Yeah, so I'll try to watch that before. I might watch it tonight, or or I might just get high and watch Nicolas Cage beat up animatronic robots because my wife is not going to watch that with me. So now is my best time for that. All right, let's talk a little bit. Told you it was a checked out heavy show. Let's talk spoilers on Black Widow a little bit. So if you haven't watched Black Widow, fast forward. So Mike and I did our review. James, what did you think of the movie?
Overall, I liked it quite a bit. I liked the espionage wing of the MCU quite a bit. So it was great seeing some of the stunts. I wish some CGI shots were a little better. But story-wise, I had fun with it and loved the new character, Yelena, and David Harbour's the Red Guardian. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think we're basically in the same, sort of all three in the same, in agreement. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess I'll jump to the big thing that, like, Mike and I desperately tried not to give pronouns for, which was the Taskmaster reveal. That Taskmaster, was a girl. Yeah, some people were very upset by this. I didn't really get it, but I get it. I liked the reveal that Taskmaster wasn't just someone completely disconnected from Black Widow, and that it wasn't just a merc, right? Like that actually made sense.
Like it made sense for the story that they were telling in this movie. And that's all you need from it, right? Like you can't be so beholden to source material that, by the way, like there's no way, like it spans so many years. Like where you gonna jump in, right? Like they're trying to tell a specific story. And this is my thing with people who are like hardcore comic nerds who treat the comics like they're Bibles, right? Like,
that come out every single week.
Right. Like it's damn near a never ending story, man. Like how are you going to jump in and introduce this character, one, in this story, in this way, and two, into the masses? It made sense for the story for this character to be a woman. And if that's your big hang, like I have my issues with Taskmaster, mainly we didn't see enough of her in terms of like fighting,
right?
And she had no personality. She was a Terminator, but that's it. Like her being a woman fit the story, and I just don't.
I mean, arguably, her being a Terminator fit the story, right? Like she was basically mindless, but that doesn't mean that character can't show up again and not be right. Like it's like the mimicking was there, the fighting was there. I'm like, all right, it worked for me. I mean, I saw one comment.
All of a sudden, these hardcore Taskmaster fans,
well, one of the
come out the woodwork.
Well, one of the things I thought was I literally read today. Someone says, "Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Taskmaster, or my only issue with Taskmaster was that, like, I didn't." He was like, "I don't care that it was a woman, but they shouldn't have used a male stunt double." I was like, that is the weirdest argument I've ever heard. Who cares? It's in a suit.
She's in a suit of armor,
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Also, they probably wanted someone who walked like a man so that you were thrown off on the surprise.
Right.
Like that's the point.
That's the stupidest. Like, I understand.
That's the wildest argument I've ever heard.
And the misogynist takes, right? But like, that's just dumb.
I can't believe they did that. I can't believe you care. So, James, what did you think of the Taskmaster thing?
I mean, my first real exposure to Taskmaster was the Spider-Man PS4 game, so I have no real attachment to him.
Exactly.
That's 99% of people complaining.
And I liked seeing all the different fighting styles. There were certain things you could catch that were like really brief, like she had claws like Black Panther.
Right.
She did the knife drop from Winter Soldier.
Right.
And there's a little things I wish there would have been more prolonged fighting styles of different people. But other than that, I think it works good. And I think the way it ends with who people are associated with, that she could be out murking people now and come back later if they wanted to.
Absolutely. Like, they didn't, like, just because she's freed of the bad guy's control, her dad's control, doesn't mean she's suddenly a hero.
Yeah, it's all she's known. It's all she's good at. Society's not going to accept a multiple murder with all her facial issues and everything just because society sucks.
Right. And she's a perfect weapon. Like, so somebody's either going to figure out a way to control her again, which I don't think is the best plot device, or they just be like, hey, do you like money? Because that's Taskmaster's thing. I like money, so I'll take it and I'll train people, or I'll do hit jobs or whatever. Like, so yeah, okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. I don't think there's any reason to shelf that character. I think you can definitely bring that character back. So, and considering, like, at the same time that we're talking about that, we find out at the end of the movie, Yelena is still doing assassinations and jobs. Like, the effect of her sister, reconnecting with her sister didn't stop, and the Red Room ending didn't stop her from being like, who do I need to shoot for cash? Like, she's still there. So, like, it's a little odd to think that, somehow Taskmaster will be just shelved and be completely useless. I just don't see that happening. So I thought it was a fun reveal. It seemed pretty obvious once they kept mentioning the daughter. I was like, okay, this is coming back. Like, so yeah. Kevin Feige made a comment recently in an interview that you could sort of read that Red Guardian and Rachel Weisz's character, I can't remember her first name, are likely to come back in the MCU. So that's kind of dope. I dig that. Like, especially David Harbour. I thought he was great as Red Guardian. I would love to see him tussle with Captain America. That would be fun.
Another Captain America?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, look, why not? Why not? Like, that would be kind of fun, right? They clearly kept pushing the point that he fought him, even though, like, the timeline doesn't necessarily line up. But I think that's more about the comics than it is the actual MCU timeline that he kept referencing, really. So, yeah.
Or he could have just been bullshitting, right?
Right. Like, he could have been.
Could have been just a bunch of bravado.
I mean, he weirdly asked Black Widow, did he ask about me? Like, why are you asking me? Like, that, like, in the jail, that makes sense to, like, bullshit people. But, like, why would you try to bullshit her? Yeah. So I weirdly think that was just kind of a reference to the comics and them fighting, but sure, why not? Or maybe there was another Captain America, right? Between Carl Lumbly's Cap and Chris Evans' Cap, maybe there were others. I don't know. Was
Isaiah Bradley already in jail at that time in '84, whenever they said the fight took place?
I think so. Yeah. So, cause I think that happened in the Korean War, I think he said, or maybe it was Vietnam, but yeah, he already would have been in jail. So yeah, who knows? But overall, I thought Black Widow was fun. It's a shame it didn't happen. Like, it didn't come out right after Civil War, cause I think it would have done really well. But yeah, I mean, unless you guys have any other talk about it, we'll move on to the Loki finale.
No, it's a good movie, man. I really enjoyed it. It did its best job to be a standalone movie, smack dab in the middle of an era in the MCU where, like, they were kind of like full steam ahead, like,
right,
and the standalone movies were only meant for introducing new characters. Right. So, but no, I really like this movie, man. I really do. It's I really dug this movie. So,
all right, there you go. All right, let's jump into the season finale for Loki. James, your thoughts?
I liked it quite a bit. It's very talk heavy, which I've seen online. Some people have issues with that. They're like, it should have been bigger, but I really loved the introduction of the one who's left behind, or whatever they called him. he seems like a great character. He's a lot of fun. It was interesting watching their first interaction. You see how like powerful he is with the time stream and everything, and how are they going to be able to take this guy on? And it was really interesting to see how it unveiled. So I like the series as a whole, like this episode, and I'm curious how they're going to work in a season 2 amongst all the movies and how they're going to interact with each other. If not,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I thought Jonathan Majors was great. Micah was 100% correct. I did not think that they would drop Jonathan Majors here. Like I thought that was too big of a reveal for the series. Basically going by what Micah you had suggested before, which is these series are set up in a way of like you don't have to watch them to know what's going on in the MCU. I think that theory is officially dead.
Well, I don't know if you necessarily have had to have watched Loki, right? Because this is a variant of Kang, supposedly, right? Like,
yeah, yes.
This, which is why I'm very excited for Jonathan Majors to be in the MCU, because the implication is that he will get to play multiple Kangs,
right,
and play the character a different way each time.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really, really fun. And if you hadn't seen this and you just see Ant-Man Quantumania, like, you may not know the backstory, but I feel like that movie is going to be written where, like, you will introduce this character who is known as Kang the Conqueror. And I don't know. Look, maybe you're right. Maybe it's like, hey man, if you wanna stay up on this stuff, you gotta keep up. And
more importantly, give us your money.
Right. And that's a double-edged sword for me. That's one of the reasons why I kind of got out of comics in the 90s. One, they were ridiculous, and two, it was a lot to keep up. And I can't, and they're like, oh, this story continues in Web of Spider-Man. Like, yo, how many of these books do I have to buy?
Right.
Of these different lines. Like, it just doesn't. So, but at the same time, like, if you put in that work, like, you feel, you get that nerd feeling of like, I knew this was going to happen.
Right. The superiority.
Right. And who doesn't like it, right? Like, dude, I told you, right? Like, that's,
and I left my entire life based on that.
So, I very much enjoyed this. I've seen complaints that, people are like, well, it didn't really end the Loki story. It was too busy setting up other MCU stuff with Jonathan Majors by introducing this like villain. I don't necessarily agree with that. I agree with part of it, but I feel like this version of Loki got his redemption story, and I feel like it was done well, and I feel like he got the ultimate betrayal by being betrayed by a version of himself.
Yeah.
And so you know what it feels like. And I like this version of Loki. And it's funny because like the Sacred Timeline version of Loki is the same way. Right. And I'm curious to see, I'm super curious about season 2. And I'm super curious about Jonathan Majors. I'm super curious which K&G he went to get them threads, because that green and purple outfit was, it was banging. I love it.
That's funny. Your point about him playing the roles differently was something I immediately thought about, right? Like, everyone's like, oh, I like this version of Kang. It's not Kang. Who you saw is not him. Like, He Who Remains is one character, or like there's one variant. Kang is another variant. Immortus is another variant. Ramatut is another variant. Like,
the Kang that you saw in that last shot where Loki goes back to the TVA and they don't recognize him.
Yeah, the statue you're talking about.
Yeah, the statue of that Jonathan Majors, who is dressed a little more like traditional fucking Kang up there.
Yeah.
Like that, I think is Kang.
Yeah. Kang Prime, if you will.
Yeah. So I feel like he's gonna have a good time playing this character.
Oh,
he gets to play multiple versions of this character.
Yeah. I'm very intrigued to watch him do it. Like I am, because I think Jonathan Majors is quite talented. Like I really do. And in a way, he played this particular character, He Who Remains, like Q from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like would get angry, but like joking a lot and like goofing around a lot and like pissing off everyone and like this like really interesting balance. And I just thought it was an intriguing way to play the character, right? Because this character largely is just made up, like this particular variant. So I'm very interested to see what they do. I liked it. I like that Sylvie basically popped off the second saga of another Loki, popped off the next saga, where Loki started the first one, basically, right?
Yeah, this is what I'll do a dude I told you for. I said in the beginning, I feel like this show, out of the three of these things, this show it feels like the show that's going to directly affect what you see in the movies. And yeah, man, like I have very low expectations for this show because by Loki's by the end of the MCU, I was just kind of tired of Loki, right? Like the character was fine. I was just like burnt out on him. And I was like, oh, they're giving a whole show to Loki. Like I know people love Loki, but like, come on, yo. Like I would much rather see this show, these other shows that they're talking about. But this ended up being one of my favorites, man. I really enjoyed it, man.
So one last thing I'll say about the show is this one, of all of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, this one stuck the landing the best.
Yeah.
Like I like the ending to WandaVision. It didn't stick the landing as much as I think it could have, and it was good. It was very good. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, great, loved it. Didn't stick the landing. The last episode, a little bit of a mess. I still loved it, but it was a little bit of a mess. Like it was like, okay, you're trying to cram in way too many things. This one, I think what they did here was they had one question to answer. Right? Where the other series had multiple questions to answer and try to like figure it all out in 45 minutes or what have you and get it done. This one was like, we have one question. That's it. Right? So all we have to do is go, who the fuck is in that house, and figure out what's going on. And it was like, it's this Kang variant. Don't kill that guy, because if you do, things are going to get worse. And Sylvia's like, I don't buy it. And then she murdered him, and then things are going to get worse. Like, so, that was the only thing they had to solve. So I think that might be a lesson to them, is don't go into the finales with too many things up in the air, right? Like, if you do that, then you might make the mistake of like dropping things. And, there are things that they didn't answer, and maybe those things get answered later on in the MCU, or maybe they don't. But they weren't such big glaring questions like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or, they had to like tie up, MAGA cap and all this other stuff, which they were just like, he's fine now. Like that, like, no, that should have been much serious.
Him now.
Like no, like that guy's not your friend. So, I think there was a little bit, I think they played this one a little bit better. So yeah, I thought it was great. James, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'm curious what you guys thought of the implications of when Loki gets teleported back, and there's just the one statue of Kang. Do you think he's in a different timeline, a different universe? Did something happen when she transported him back to the TVA? And do you think that will play into season 2? Like he's in one universe, Sylvie's in the other, and they're trying to get back to each other kind of thing?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a good idea. Like, I feel like this is going to be like Sliders.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like everybody's going to be trying, like you said, trying to get back to the sacred timeline. Like, depending on when this comes out in relation to Multiverse of Madness, yeah, I think that they might be. I mean, would that be confusing for people though if they're running like parallel on different timelines, different branches?
Yeah,
like
this is the danger.
This
is
like
the danger. Is it can get
one,
too confusing.
Sylvia's on another. That seems like you're asking a lot of people.
Here's the only thing I would say. Better to deal with that in a television show than in a movie, right? Like, if you got 6 episodes to explain, we're in different timelines and let's like figure it out, that's fine. You got 2 hours and you're trying to like action and all, that's too much. Like, that's too much. Like, you could explain it over a little, 4.5 hours or whatever, right? Like, you could do it. But you have to be real careful to fix it and be done with it. Like, don't fix it and then throw them back into a different time. Like don't do that. Like, even though that might be interesting, that's too much. You got to like, weirdly, you got to have like one point of entry, right? To fix that and then be done with it. But you can't keep people out in the timelines too long because then it does get too confusing. So that's where going with Kang as the big bad is really fucking dangerous because you could just confuse fans to the point where they go, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, this is stupid. So you got to be able to, like, every Kang variant has to look different. Like, not just Jonathan Majors in a different robe, like wildly different, where you go, that's not the guy I remember. That's a different guy. like Ramatut can't look anything like Kang. Like, he's got to look wildly, like in the comics, right? He's like Egyptian king or whatever. He's got to look wildly different. Immortus got to have the dumb fuck head on, right? Like, it's got to look crazy different so that people can visually go, this is weirdly different. And I know what the difference between these two characters is. So I don't know. It poses a lot of really interesting questions, and this will show whether or not Kevin Feige and those guys really know what they're doing. I mean, we all know they know what they're doing, but like, to handle timeline shit and make it make sense and make regular people who are not mega nerds follow it, that will take talent, like real talent. So
yeah,
we'll see. All right, let's jump right into lightning round, Micah.
Noted Greek actor Aristotle Papadopoulos, whatever the hell his name is going to be in Indiana Jones 5. He is the newest co-star in the anticipated next installment of the Indiana Jones franchise. The Oscar-nominated Antonio Banderas has closed the deal to join the film to star alongside Harrison Ford, who returns as all right, you know who he returns to.
Yeah.
James Mangold is taking over the directing reins for Steven Spielberg, who is still serving as producer. No word here on who Antonio Banderas is going to play.
Is James Mangold writing this?
No. Jez Butterworth, John Henry Butterworth, and Mangold are writing it. So
all right, because James Mangold is a very good director. James Mangold as a writer-director is excellent. Like, you got to let that guy do some of the writing because he's really good at it and he knows like his abilities. Like, yeah, don't just give James Mangold the director's chair. You get a fine movie. You let him also write. You get a great movie. So I didn't realize he was directing this. So that makes me actually interested. I'm still not watching Indy 4. I refuse.
Have you ever seen it? You've never seen it?
No, I'm not watching an old man get in a refrigerator to defend himself from a nuclear bomb. I'm not doing that. I don't believe in self-harm. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, it's right in the beginning.
No,
so
it doesn't matter.
Watch it
no.
and get it over with.
How long does it last? I'll fast forward to exactly the moment after that. James, are you excited for this?
Not really. I, like you, haven't seen the fourth one. I was excited about it when it was coming out, but it wasn't enough like opening weekend. And then the reviews started coming out. I was like, I'll wait for DVD or streaming or something. And then more reviews came out. I was just like, I'll see it sometime. So maybe I'll bite the bullet and see it before 5. But
you haven't seen it either. See?
I gotta see a trailer before I decide to see 4 and then see 5.
Look, man, is anyone excited for Indy 5? Anyone besides Harrison Ford?
Some accountant somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just can't imagine anyone is like, who is excited for this? I really don't know.
I mean, it had like man-eating ants in the movie, guys. Like, no. and Mutt Williams swinging from tree branch to tree branch, a la Tarzan in it.
Yeah, no. They called that man Mutt Williams, yo. Come on. All right. Next story.
Oh, man. Next up, Loki will return for season 2, as indicated by the mid-credits scene. Is there a chance those episodes have already been shot?
So this is a really interesting thing, right? So apparently Clark Gregg said something like, Tom Hiddleston's working on this series that's like 12 episodes long. And that could just be wrong, right? And that's a fair point. Like, I don't care about that. Like, an actor thinking it was 12, it was maybe originally was 12 and got cut to 6. Not a big deal. But Hiddleston recently revealed when he was on Jimmy Kimmel that he was still filming Loki during his 40th birthday. Wow, I'm older than Tom Hiddleston. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, yo.
What have I done with my life? But the show officially wrapped late last year. The actor's birthday lands on February 9th, 2021. So maybe they did film more and they're planning on, like, if you're doing a season 2 of Loki, it's got to be tied all to this TVA stuff. You can't wait and throw it out super late in the MCU moving along. It's got to come out relatively soon to tie into what is clearly becoming the story for this next saga. So it's kind of interesting. Like, they very well might have filmed this. So who knows? I
wouldn't be surprised, right? Like the way season 1 ended. It ended on a cliffhanger. Not like a massive cliffhanger, but it left on like a mid-season break. Like, we're going to take a winter break.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Cliffhanger. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were already filmed and they're just kind of putting things together. And my only issue is, when are they going to release it? Right? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Is it going to be the lead into Doctor Strange? Is it going to?
Isn't that 2022?
Yeah.
March 25th, 2022.
Yeah.
March 25th. So maybe they, maybe they release it. Like, if they release it after, it would seem weird.
Right.
So I don't know. But I want to see more of it. Like, as much, like, I can't believe, like, I really like this show. I can't believe it.
I don't know why you can't believe it. They weren't going to make they weren't going to make any garbage. What are you talking about?
Yeah. They did it again. God damn it.
Kevin Feige don't make no jump.
Meanwhile, I can't even get a Superman that wants to save people, but all right.
Look, man, come on. Don't do it.
If it is 12 episodes, how far do you think this will be pushing back things like Armor Wars and things like that don't seem to tie into the multiverse as much?
That's a good question. But I think Armor Wars is actually a bigger deal than people think it is. Speculation. Wild speculation. What's that?
Confirmed.
Confirmed, right. That's what we'll title this episode. Wild speculation. We've got a dark Cap. We've got a dark Black Widow now. What else do you need, right? You got Abomination is hanging out in the universe, right? That's your dark dark version of Hulk, right? You've got you need a dark Thor, right? And you need a dark Iron Man. So dark Thor probably comes from Thor: Love and Thunder. One character with very similar powers, perhaps, like Thunderstrike or something like that. And then you need a dark Iron Man. You get that from Armor Wars. That's your Dark Avengers, right? Or maybe they call it Thunderbolts. I don't know, like depending, right? Allegra D. Fontaine, Val Allegra D. Fontaine or whatever her name is. That's what she's clearly doing. She is recruiting a team. So if you're trying to make your version of the Avengers, you use Armor Wars to get an Iron Man. So I think Armor Wars is going to not necessarily, you're right, it won't have to do with the multiverse, but I think it definitely will have to do with that team up. And I think that team up is going to have, like, I could see a scenario where you have 3 teams. You got the Avengers, however they shake out. You've got these sort of dark Avengers, and you possibly got young Avengers, right? Because you got a lot of kids who are coming into the MCU at the same time. And I could see a situation where all 3 of them are sort of jockeying for position against what's going on with Kang and all this other stuff at the same time, right? This multiverse war. So who knows? But I do think Armor Wars is not going to just be, I don't think it's going to just be nothing. I think you're get a dark Iron Man, type character out of that. So that's my guess. But yeah, look, Loki returning for season 2. That's fine. I don't know if, to your point, James, I don't know if it's going to push back anything. I think if anything, if they've got it in the tank and they're ready for it, they already know when it's already going to be released, and they're going to release everything, and then it'll be just like, surprise, 6 weeks before, Doctor Strange 2, here's a lead in or something like that. Like I could totally see that happening. So who knows? I have no idea. All right, next up, Micah.
Next up, Kevin Feige confirms Catherine Hahn's return to the MCU.
I mean, he did actually.
When asked when fans can expect to see Hahn again, Feige revealed that it will be, quote, someday soon, not giving any specifics. The MCU's top executive admitted that her comeback can't come soon enough. Someday soon, you'll see Catherine Hahn in Knives Out 2 next, then maybe an assortment of other things. But within the MCU, it can't come soon enough. Let's put it that way. That's his quote from the HNIC of the MCU.
Head nerd in charge, I hope.
That's what it better be.
Yeah, like don't do that, Kevin. Don't do that. That's how he gets taken down, by calling himself the HNIC. Like, don't do that.
Look, Catherine Hahn was great in WandaVision. I liked her a little more throughout than at the very end.
I agree with that.
When she just turned into like a regular comic book villain. But yeah, she again, a character playing the same role but in very different ways. She looked like she had fun doing it, and more Catherine Hahn. That's fine with me.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that. I look forward to her hopefully being just Wanda's frenemy / teacher of magic, where she just pops up from time to time. Like, that'd be kind of dope. They just like, I hate you. But like, can you show me this thing? All right, cool. Bet. I'm out. Yeah, I like that. And I think Catherine Hahn is a great actress, so it works for me. Movie and TV news this week. Deep fakes in movies have officially arrived, and one of those movies is soon to be released. This is very weird. The new Anthony Bourdain documentary, Roadrunner, actually has deep-faked audio in it. So in an interview with The New Yorker, the film's director, Morgan Neville, said that there were 3 quotes he wanted Bourdain to narrate where there were no recordings, so he recreated them with software instead. Quote, I created an AI model of his voice. So apparently, Neville said that he contacted 4 different companies about the project before deciding on the best one. He fed them dozens of hours of audio of Bourdain speaking, and then they were able to deep fake his voice to read certain lines. How do you guys feel about this? I'll go to James on this first. Like, what are your thoughts on this?
It's a little weird for a lot of the deep fake things, like them talking about bringing back James Dean for a movie or whatever.
Right,
is weird, but I don't have a major issue with because it's a fictional character. But this being a documentary about a real person, it seems a little sketchier that you're faking something more true to life, even if it is as simple as a quote. That's when I start to worry. It's like you're talking about someone's real life and things they said and done, and you shouldn't be messing with something like that. If it's a fictional story, I don't really care if you want to get weird with technology. It's fine.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, I'm not a fan of the deep faking at all, but I can certainly understand that argument of like, yeah, if you're like, hey, I want to fake Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man again, okay, but like, not a documentary about Robert Downey Jr. Like, that sounds horrible. Like, that's a really fucked up thing to do. Also, if this, I mean, it's funny because I have in my watch later on YouTube, there's software that you can get readily available to deep fake your own voice. I don't like that at all. That's horrifying. Like, you can get someone to say anything, and then like in this world, like people would hear a quote that you said and be like, nope, I'm done with that person. Like, fuck them. So also, no, that's not cool.
It gives shitty people who get caught saying something that they shouldn't say.
Right.
It gives them an out, right?
No, this is a deep fake.
Is out, right?
Deep fake. It's a deep fake.
Like, God damn it. God damn you, technology. You're a blessing and a curse. Yeah. I agree with James. This is kind of weird, man. Like, my knee-jerk reaction is this is kind of weird. Is it, I'm not that kind of artist, but is it so important to get, to have Anthony Bourdain's dulcet tones read that specific line for your documentary about him? I don't, it's better be a hell of a line.
I like hot dogs. Oh, really? Wow. I'm glad you spent hours doing that. I mean, he did like hot dogs.
You got paid off by Mitt Romney to say hot dogs?
Yeah, exactly. Hot dogs is my favorite meat. They spent $45,000 to get Anthony Bourdain to say hot dog is my favorite meat. But I just, yeah, I'm really uneasy about that. Like, I don't think that's very cool. And I really don't like it. When you're talking about a documentary of his life, like, that's really fucked up. And I saw somebody say, this is wrong, and Bourdain would have hated that. And I'm like, I mean, probably. Like, I don't like when people just like make up shit that the dead would do. Like, that feels like speculative deep faking to me. Like, that's like mental deep faking, right? But yeah, I don't. I'm not a fan of that, and that technology should be banned as far as I'm concerned. Which, once you ban something, only criminals get it. But yeah, that's how that works. So yeah, don't deep fake people's voices, guys. It's fucked up. And if I ever get caught saying something terrible, I was deep faked. Just saying. If I lose a selection, it was rigged. Next up, Emmy 2021, a complete nomination list. Just go for the big ones. Emmys for Best Drama Series. The Boys, Bridgerton, The Crown, The Handmaid's Tale, Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, Pose, This Is Us.
Do they have to nominate like 8? Because this seems like a lot.
I mean, those seem like pretty popular shows.
Like,
I don't feel like any of them
are. Mandalorian. I really like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, maybe not Best Drama Series.
An Emmy?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Of all of those, I feel like The Mandalorian shouldn't be there. Yeah.
I feel like The Boys shouldn't be there either.
No, no, season 2 dealt with a lot of stuff that was like remember that one had like the shooting and all that, like the radicalization stuff. I could see that actually like had a point. The Mandalorian though, it was just
Mandalorian is just fluff.
It was fine. It was fine. I mean, like, all right, we all like the Bill Burr scene or whatever, but like, I'm not sure an Emmy is needed for that.
My guess is it's going to This Is Us. It's its final season, so I think they'll give it to him as a parting gift.
Okay, has it won Best Drama Series before?
If I don't know for sure, I'd have to say.
I would have to imagine the way people the way Kleenex stock just skyrockets when the new season comes out. Yeah. I'm sure that This Is Us has won multiple Emmys before.
All right, comedy series: Blackish, Cobra Kai, Emily in Paris, Hacks, The Flight Attendant, The Kaminsky Method, Pen 15. Ted Lasso. Look, Ted Lasso's walking away with that. Knock it off.
I just started watching Ted Lasso. I watched the first 2 episodes of the first season last night, and I enjoy it. And I'm really glad it's only a half hour, so I can me and the wife can kind of blow through this first season before the second season comes out later this month. I think it's next week.
Oh, I thought it was already out.
Yeah, 23rd. So it's but yeah, it's good. It's good. I think Ted Lasso got the most Emmy nominations this year.
Yeah, people really love that show. I've never seen it, but everyone says it's great. Limited series: I May Destroy You, Mayor of Easttown, The Queen's Gambit, Underground Railroad, and WandaVision. Look, knock it off. Mayor of Easttown. Stop. Done.
You don't think I May Destroy You would get it?
I think it probably should, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to.
Yo, that show, look.
I'm not saying it's not great. Look,
that show dealt with some shit that's so heavy I could not watch it anymore.
Yeah, no, I know.
I didn't finish it.
That's why I'm not rushing out to watch it. I get that. I'm just telling you, Mayor of Easttown was a fucking force. I'm telling you.
I felt like Red Guardian when Yelena when they were explaining what's they're going through your uterus. Like, all right.
We're gonna talk about fallopian tubes. Please stop. What do you think, James, for a limited series?
I've only seen 2 of them, Mayor of Easttown and WandaVision. WandaVision's not getting it, so no. I'd have to give it to Mayor of Easttown. I'm also curious if this is the category you guys think Small Axe would have fit into, because I was kind of surprised that's not.
Yep, that was in the snub list. That should have been there, and that should have won, in my opinion, because it was phenomenal. It was, and the fact that it's not there is ridiculous. Like, it is. And look, no offense to WandaVision. I know this is a nerd show. Get the entire fuck out of here compared to Small Axe. Get out of here. Get out of here. No. Like, if I had to choose which one of those series existed ever, I would still choose Small Axe over WandaVision. And I loved WandaVision. I thought it was great. But no. The fact that was snubbed is ridiculous. Lead actor in a drama series: Sterling K. Brown for Cry With Us, Jonathan Majors for Lovecraft Country, Josh O'Connor for The Crown, Reggaeton Page for Bridgerton, Billy Porter for Pose, and Matthew Rhys for Perry Mason. I think Billy Porter might take that.
Yo, 4 black men are up here for lead actor in a drama series, yo. Like, wow. Like,
yeah. Yo, black people kind of own television, yo. Like, they do. Like, if you look through this nomination, like, or let me rephrase that, people of color really own television. Like, they do. They do. Like, they like Josh O'Connor for The Crown. Like, it's about the British family. Of course he's white. And Perry Mason. It's like the whitest guy ever. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like, no white guy got picked for like an ensemble show. And it's like, hey, I'm in this show. They're like, no, Perry Mason and the Brits. Like, that's it. Which, by the way, I haven't watched The Crown, but Perry Mason's pretty fucking good. Matthew Rhys is really good. He's a really good actor, actually. Yeah, I'm voting for Billy Porter. I'm pulling for him. Pose is ending, so I think that's likely. Lead actress in a drama series, Uzo Aduba for In Treatment, which I hear is really good. Olivia Colman for The Crown, Emma Corrin for The Crown, Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale, MJ Rodriguez for Pose, and Journey Smollett for Lovecraft Country. Look, MJ Rodriguez is going to win that. First trans actress to ever be nominated. Yo, if they don't, that is a terrible choice. It's a terrible choice. And she's really good, right? Like, it's not like they're just nominating her because she's trans, but that would be a terrible choice, to probably not at least give her or Billy Porter, those Emmys. But my guess is she will take that, though I think they both should. I don't know if I would put Journey Smollett there for Lovecraft Country.
Lead female actor. I don't know. It's funny Lovecraft Country is getting all these nominations when HBO is just like, nah, we're not going to do another one. But if for some, let's be honest, odd reason, Lovecraft Country just kind of takes a bunch of these things.
Oh, you're getting season 2.
You're getting another season. Like,
we changed our mind.
Right. So if all you Lovecraft Country fans, you better be praying to whatever Cthulhu you believe in, if you want another season.
Yeah. Can you, is the Emmys like, can you call in? Right? Is it like America's Got Talent? Can you vote? What do you think, James? Lead actress?
Yeah, I don't think it'll go to Moss. She's won once or twice.
Yeah.
So I think she's just nominated because she does a great job on that show. But I haven't seen In Treatment, so I don't know about Uzo. But yeah, I'd probably have to go with MJ as well. Just good performance and can set a trend kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood likes to pat themselves on the back, and I could see them being like, look what we did. You're welcome. We're never going to nominate you again for anything because, we're still pretty big at it. Lead actor in a comedy series, Anthony Anderson for Blackish, Michael Douglas for Kaminsky Method, William H. Macy for Shameless. I didn't realize that show was still on. Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, and Kenan Thompson for Kenan. I didn't realize Kenan was popular. I didn't realize people liked that show.
Why is I've seen 15 inconsecutive minutes of that show, and I could not get into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard literally no one talking about it. Literally no one talking about it.
No one was talking about father-in-law Nash Bridges.
That's right. Why?
I love Kenan, the actor, like from Mighty Ducks to Heavyweights through SNL. But this show, he shouldn't be nominated for this show. It feels like you waited 20 years to get your show, so we'll give you this. He got a season 2 though, so somebody's watching.
All right, there you go. It ain't gonna be me. I think Ted Lasso. I think Jason Sudeikis wins this for Ted Lasso. I think that's like that. That feels already written. Let's scroll down. Lead actor in a limited series, Paul Bettany for WandaVision, Hugh Grant for The Undoing, Ewan McGregor for Halsting, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton, Leslie Odom Jr. for Hamilton.
They're treating that as a movie?
Yeah, it seems weird.
Yeah.
It seems weird.
It's a filmed play, yo. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily give it an Emmy nomination.
That's the funny thing is that's the number one reason why I wouldn't choose either one of them, because it's not a television series or a limited series. It's weird. I mean, it says limited series or a movie, so I guess, but that seems odd. I like Paul Bettany for this. I also like Hugh Grant for this.
I don't know about Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant is playing Hugh Grant at like 90% of his Hugh Grantiness.
Yes, but I like that about him.
Yeah, but it's not an acting challenge for him, right? Like, he can do that in his sleep. He does it every day. He's just a sinister version of
himself.
I feel like that's not really. When I see that character, I think Hugh Grant. I don't think of the character.
Right, Mr. Undoing.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve Undoing, or whatever his name was. But I like Paul Bettany for that. Like, that's not bad. I could see him do it because I thought he did a really good job. Though, like, if I'm saying Paul Bettany, it would feel really horrible that Elizabeth Olsen doesn't win because she carried a lot of that show. Like, they both did such a great job. So hopefully either they both don't win or she wins and he doesn't, because I feel like that's a real fuck you if he wins and she doesn't. Let's see, lead actress in a limited series, Michaela Cole for I May Destroy You, Cynthia Erivo for Genius Aretha, Elizabeth Olsen for WandaVision, Anya Taylor-Joy for The Queen's Gambit, which I think she has a good chance of taking that, or Kate Winslet for Mayor of Easttown. Look, I'm biased. I think Kate Winslet's going to take that. I think she is. I think that shows in the forefront of most people's mind, which is an unfair thing in these award shows, but it is true.
Yeah, if I had to guess, Olsen will come in third behind Taylor-Joy and Winslet. I'm not sure which one of them will win. I feel like more people were talking more about Anya Taylor-Joy and her performance than they were just talking about like Kate Winslet and like Mayor of Easttown, more of a show and like the mystery more than like necessarily her performance.
Yeah.
But I could see her winning because she's great. People love her.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'm not mad at any of these. And look, if Michaela Cole wins, that's great too. I think she's a super talent. Look, I don't really watch competition shows, but the few that I do, the answer to this is Nailed It. That should win. That show is amazing. And the fact that nobody thought of that show idea for years is ridiculous. And when they did, they figured it out. It's great. I'm trying to find any of these other ones. All right. I think we'll leave it there.
Are you going to talk about supporting actor? The supporting actor? No.
Oh, go ahead. This is ridiculous.
Apparently, Don Cheadle, Don Cheadle is probably pound for pound my favorite actor.
I think he is your favorite actor.
I love everything that Don Cheadle is in, and I loved him for the whole 3 minutes that he was in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Sir, it was not even 3 minutes. It was not. No, it wasn't.
But he got nominated for supporting actor in what?
He got nominated, and look, I know people are like, well, that's ridiculous because he was in it for like 98 seconds or whatever.
Not supporting, guest actor. He got nominated for guest actor in a drama series.
Did they confuse him with Carl Lumbly? Did they just like all black dudes look alike? Like, how did Carl Lumbly not get nominated? And he was tremendous.
Like, I'm looking at the guest actor in a drama series, Don Cheadle. Okay, he was in it for less than it. He was in it for about as much time as it takes to go to sit through a red light. And Charles Dance, who I've never watched The Crown, Timothy Olyphant for The Mandalorian. He was in at least 2 episodes, wasn't he?
No, he was in 1 episode.
He was in 1. Courtney B. Vance, he was in multiple episodes. He was in like the first 2. Carl Weathers, he's a recurring character, for God's sake.
Right. How is Carl Lumbly not on this list? I'm going, this is my conspiracy theory. They thought that Don Cheadle was Carl Lumbly. Like they thought that Carl Lumbly's name was Don Cheadle. Like that's, what else could be the reason? What else could be the reason? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, even Don Cheadle was like, he put out a statement like, okay. I mean,
Like, I don't get it either, but
All right, we just gonna keep moving forward. If he wins, I'm gonna be furious. I'm happy for you, but I'm also gonna be furious because that's ridiculous.
I feel like Don Cheadle would be the type of guy who would get up there and say, "This ain't for me, yo." Like,
give it to Carl Lumbly.
Yeah, give it to Carl Lumbly. Like, this is not, yo. I mean, I've taken shits longer than I've been in this show.
Yo, it was literally I think it was like 98 seconds. It's like, come on, man. What are you guys doing? Yeah, Don Cheadle. Like, knock it off. Yeah, that was a pretty hilarious surprise. All right, let's move on. Black Widow crosses $100 million at domestic box office in record time during the pandemic. That's great. That's great news. But do you feel like theaters are back? Does it make you feel like theaters are like?
I was about to ask you, does it, you're Mr. Theater's going to die after this. How does this make you feel?
It's fine. It's fine.
To be wrong in your wrongness.
I will sit there in my wrongness. Yeah, no, look, I think $100 million is great. I agree with the Cinema World CEO who said that had they not done day and date, they would have made a lot more money. Yeah, they would have. Like, they should have just made a time window of like give it 2 weeks or 3 weeks in theaters before you did the day and date kind of thing. Because they're saying
money they made on Disney Plus.
It was like $60 million, I think.
$60 million worldwide.
Yeah, and they had a 41% drop off.
They also get to keep more of that Disney Plus money.
Oh no, I get it. I get why they did it. But his point, and I think it's a good one, is the piracy was fucking crazy on it.
Sure.
That's his biggest thing. He wasn't even making the argument of like, send it to the theater because that's the best experience. Like, no, he was like, yo, they're mad stealing your movie. Like, and he's not wrong. Of course. The second it's like, yo, you could just I can just record this on my laptop. I don't have to be a master hacker. This is easy. Like, yeah, and people just threw it up on torrents. So, he's not wrong about that. But it making $100 million is still quite impressive. I think considering that not everywhere is open and not everyone feels comfortable. James, what are your thoughts as far as like the upcoming Marvel movies? Because I think this one will do diminished numbers for obvious reasons, but like Eternals and Shang-Chi, where do you think those will go?
I think they'll probably, depending on what happens with the coronavirus and the variants and everything, that right. They'll probably go directly to theaters, and we'll see how people turn out, and then maybe they'll reattack it after that. But I mean, Black Widow has done pretty well, but it's also like saying, "Oh, we're the fastest person in this room of 2 people," because how many other movies crossed $100 million
right
during the pandemic? So I think, given a little more time, a couple more months, that they'll try and go straight to theater. And if they don't make that $200 million, that unless there's a big change for that third movie, I think we'll be right back where we are with this dual release.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see. This is what Spider-Man drops in December?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the big test, right? Like, people love Spider-Man. Like, people are not going to just stay home and not see a Spider-Man movie. Like, I don't think this is the best judgment of the MCU, like whether its staying power is there. It clearly is with all the series and everything. Because one, this is a character everyone knows. It's also a prequel, which is, you're like, well, I already know the end of the story, right? So people don't feel the dire need to rush out. Something like Eternals, where people don't know what's going to happen, like I think gets people butts in the seats. Shang-Chi, it's a new character, and it's a martial arts film. Yeah, like I think that moves people. Like, oh shit, this is the Chinese Black Panther. Got it. I'm going to see the shit in theaters, right? Like, so I think that will pull people. I don't know if they'll do $1 billion necessarily, but I could see them doing quite well. I hope it does. I hope it does great, but I could see it doing quite well.
with those new movies, I could kind of see it having a slow start where people are like, let me see some reviews or something before I rush out to see something completely new and be around all the unwashed masses and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. What are your thoughts, Micah?
I think you make a good point with that regarding Eternals. I think Shang-Chi, people are just going to be like, nah, yo, we got to see this shit.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Like, I feel like that's going to be like, no, people were rolling around in their kente cloths and shit for Black Panther. I feel like you're going to get a bunch of people walking around in kung fu garb.
Yeah, if I see anybody dressed like Bruce Leroy, I'm going to be very upset with you. Stop it. Don't wear those fucking straw hats. Don't you dare.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't yeah, movies, look, it's going to be a slow start. And, you know, depending on how this Delta variant, what goes on with it, I'm hoping that doesn't like put us, you know, have us walk backwards. But
worst case scenario is you get another one. That's actually worse.
Right. I'm really hoping we don't have that, because sitting in that theater, watching that Marvel logo pop up, it felt great.
It did.
And, I don't think that this hybrid thing is going to last long. Not with Disney. And like HBO was like, look, we kind of put the cart before the horse here when we told you we was going to do this the whole year. So we telling you now we're not going to do it for 2022. Yeah. So enjoy watching Space Jam at home or whatever.
Have they had a good movie though?
Have they had a good movie to drop?
Day and date so far?
Day and date. I mean, you better put some respect on Wonder Woman's name.
No. No. I mean, the only one I can think of that I enjoyed was
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay, that's fair. I did forget about that one. That is the best one they put out. That's by far the best. But outside of that, because I had totally forgotten about that, was The Little Things. I like that movie. That's it. Everything else that they put out have been like, oof. They're like, they're just like they were having a like, let's make a meal where we clear out the refrigerator type shit. Like they felt like they were getting rid of a lot of things. But I don't think they had a lot of hits. Everything. I mean, I know people like Godzilla versus Kong, but like not for me.
I got the whole rundown right here.
What's that?
Go ahead, Micah.
Wonder Woman 1984, Lockdown, which I don't think that was released in theaters. The Little Things, Judas and the Black Messiah, Tom and Jerry, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Gorilla versus Kong, Godzilla versus Kong, Mortal Kombat, Those Who Wish Me Dead, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Dream Horse, I think that was in the UK, In the Heights, No Sudden Move, and Space Jam.
And No Sudden Move was not supposed to be released in theaters, I don't think.
Yeah, that was only distributed via HBO Max. Next up is Suicide Squad, Reminiscence, Malignant. That seems like I don't know if that's coming out. Yeah, I don't know. It's a horror movie directed by James Wan.
Oh, I'm fucking not seeing that. I bet it's great. No. No thanks.
Dune.
I think Suicide Squad and Dune are the last ones like that are going to be good. They have a bad track record this year.
What about The Matrix? You got no faith in The Matrix?
I need a trailer for The Matrix is what I need. When does that even come out?
December 22nd. So, Merry Christmas.
Okay. I know people go to the movies in Christmas time, but like that's normally a dumping ground, Like, and I'll watch it at home. That's fine. That way I don't have to.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go. I'll watch it so I don't have to hear any more versions of Jingle Bells or whatever for 2 hours. No, but I think Cam and I were talking about that. Like, Yeah, they were like, oh, this is a great situation. They're like, oh, let's get rid of a bunch of bullshit we have, so we don't have to put it in. We don't have to worry. Maybe we can recoup some people watching it. So I don't know. I don't think it was as much of a hassle for them as they pretended it might be.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yo, they're doing a remake of The Color Purple.
What?
In 2023?
I'm not watching that. I'm not watching the original either. I'm not watching it. No, but look, shout out to Black Widow. That's great. That's great. $100 million. That's wonderful news. Movies are back. All right, Mike, a question of the week.
What did you think of the season finale of Loki? Duke says, I had my concerns about Loki not sticking the landing in its finale. The show knocked it out of the park. I'm looking forward to the multiple faces of Kang the Conqueror portrayed by Jonathan Majors. I've never been more hyped for an Ant-Man movie. Who knew? Agreed, Duke. Like, I know some people really like Ant-Man. I literally can just do without it. Like,
that's those two movies I don't even need in the MCU. They don't have any, like,
I don't even require them to necessarily be tied into the
right. Like, they don't
narrative.
Do anything for the rest of the movies. Not really. I don't require that, right? Like, I love Marvel standalone movies. I love them, but I just don't care about, like, those movies. Like, I don't care about any of the characters in those movies. I don't care. So here's my theory. They know that. They know that that's how most people feel. That doesn't mean you don't like the movies. It's just that it's like you could take them or leave them, right? Like,
right.
Incidentally, Ant-Man and the Wasp is the only MCU movie I never saw in theaters.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see it in theaters. Like shit happened, and I was like, I'm gonna go see Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I just didn't get around to it. I just watched it when it was on, like, Disney Plus. Like, it was a long time before I saw it. Again, like all the other Marvel movies, I make a very like, that is a thing I go see opening weekend, and it's not because I don't enjoy those movies. I enjoy them quite a bit. I think Kevin Feige and the rest of the Marvel team, they are more than aware of that. They look at the numbers. They know how they do. That's why they're going to do this. That's why Kang is going to be in it, because they're going to make the third movie really fucking count. Yeah, that's what they always do. They course correct. Oh, you didn't like that thing? Cool, bet. I bet you'll love it next time. That's what they do.
Oh, you thought that was just okay? Like, you had a good time, but it's not like your favorite? Well, guess what? We about to make it your favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. You thought those Thor movies were whack? Okay. We hear you. Now what? I love Ragnarok. We know. That's what makes them as successful as they are, is that they are very self-aware. They don't just keep, here's a mistake, and they just keep throwing good money after bad at something. DC with Zack Snyder, for instance. So, all right, next up, Jordan.
Jordan says, I think it's easily the best ending of all the Disney Plus series thus far, and I really like all of them.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. M. Rogers says, I really liked it. Seemed like Jonathan Majors was having so much fun in his scenes. Also, it made a show that blew up the scale of the MCU and pumped it up even bigger. It's the show that really seems like the trunk for so many story branches. The fact that it's saying there will be a season 2 is heartening as well. Beneficent One says, I loved it. Whereas the other series felt kind of like an epilogue to Endgame, Loki felt like the start of the next Marvel phase. Yeah, I agree with that. Anthony says, loved it. However, there's one thing that, quote unquote, wasn't resolved. And one thing that I do not understand. Where did Judge Renslayer go? Hold on. I'll tell you exactly where Judge Renslayer went. Judge Renslayer went she went on a mission to find free will after receiving information from Jonathan Majors' character. We know why the We know why the Our Loki was pruned, why Classic Loki was pruned, and why Kid Loki was pruned. Why was Sylvie pruned? Why was she pruned?
Well, when she shows up, it's like as a kid, it's a Nexus event. So I don't think that was ever really.
Yeah, why was she pruned originally, or why was she pruned in that episode?
Originally.
Or leading to that episode.
Originally. My guess is the reason that Sylvie is pruned is because, like, right? Like, if you're the Time Lords or, you know, he who remains, you know what's going to happen. He knew that she was eventually going to kill him. Mm-hmm. So you prune her so that doesn't happen so he can keep the timeline in order. But pruning her didn't work, right? Like, she still found a way back to him.
Right. Why was Sylvie pruned? Was it because she was born a female Loki? If so, why not prune when she was a baby? Was it because she was a happy child? What about her existence almost caused a Nexus event that would bring about Kang? That was the continuation of Anthony's question. Don says, great ending, and it sets up the What If series very nicely. Lord Longshadow says
that could have gone in a very different way for a name.
Yeah, that's why. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I read this right. Lord Longshadow says, I loved Kang, or would it be Immortus? I was also sad Loki couldn't get a happy ending. If I had any concerns, it would be the same concerns I have with all time travel fiction. They get themselves tied into knots and they can't get out of. They fixed Endgame, but kind of broke Infinity War. What was strange looking at with the time gem?
I have no idea what reference that is.
Jordan follows up and says, I also like that Loki stuck to his character development. Yeah. They did a good job. Thaddeus said, really enjoyed the finale, particularly that it mostly unfolded as an argument/debate. A fun change of pace from explosions in the sky and underground. Yeah, I saw people mad about like the fact that they didn't feel like it. Like, has the MCU trained everybody to the point where it's like there has to be a battle in the sky and a blue sky beam and all that shit?
No, I think that's kind of what they don't want.
Right. Like they don't want the stuff to become homogenous, right? Like because that's what people are complaining about. Like, oh, it's just another battle. That's what people complained about in WandaVision, right? Like, oh, it just turned into another
sky fight,
battle in the sky, like the episode of South Park where the psychics were fighting with Cartman, right? So I don't know. I agree with that.
If it's got too much talking, if it's got talking, it's got too much talking. If it's got no talking, it's not enough talking. Like you can't make people happy. They just
and WandaVision gave you both with the Vision fight, right? Like. The Visions had this philosophical debate while choking each other out. Like, what do you want, yo? I don't know.
More. Yeah.
That is continues. Was quite surprised to see Jonathan Majors this early in the MCU. Yes, despite one of the timekeepers appearing to be clearly modeled on him. Expected that to be a tease, but they gave it to us anyway. And G. Sutherland says, I enjoyed it. I'm in disbelief that some people are upset about their crackpot theories not coming to pass. I feel that the story told was meant to be just what it was. It ties into the MCU without issue, and it gives yet another amazing set of actors a broader audience to catapult them to new heights. Welcome to the MCU, Wunmi Musako and Jonathan Majors. So there you go.
I really hope that since they're variants, they show up in other very important places in the MCU. That would be really fun because, obviously Majors will, but I'm hoping Wunmi will as well because I think she's a great actress.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What the fuck brought to you by JTD? Micah, take it away.
Okay. An inventor creates a machine that turns beer and spirits into soft-served ice cream.
Oh God, this is all
you're speaking my language. The Below Zero ice cream machine uses unique techniques to freeze alcohol, which allows you to turn beer, cocktails, and even spirits into delicious soft-serve ice cream. You can't freeze alcohol. I know you can't freeze vodka, but you can't freeze like beer and stuff.
Yeah,
like
you can freeze beer. Why would you want to? Seems like a terrible idea. Yeah, you can I think vodka just has a really high freeze point. Like far high.
Getting drunk on ice cream used to be the stuff of dreams.
Did you write this? Did you write this?
I'm gonna need people to dream a little bigger, right? Like, come on, man.
What's your greatest dream? Drunk off a rocky road, I guess. What?
Just give me enough Baileys to put me on my ass. All right, yo. All right.
Get a life.
But thanks to this inventor and owner of this thing in this place, it has become a delicious reality. This person who runs his own ice cream shop was trying to create highly caffeinated espresso ice cream when he realized he could use the same techniques with alcohol. He started experimenting with various gums and stabilizers commonly used in the ice cream industry, and eventually patented something called the NEA gel. This is this magical concoction that allows alcohol to freeze to a near solid inside the Below Zero ice cream machine.
Okay, so one, this sounds like the Brits love alcohol, right? Like they can't get enough. So I'm going somewhere in Britain.
James, where do you think this takes place?
I'm thinking it's got to be someplace where people love their unhealthy snacks and it's kind of hot. So I'm going to go, it seems like an American thing. I'm just going to go with Mississippi.
James, you are the winner for this week. It is, the inventor's name is Will Rogers. And he is from Hinckley, Illinois.
All right, there you go.
Illinois, if you are a rube. The way it truly works, we like to say, is that the gel beer hugs the alcohol itself and turns it into ice cream. With alcohol, the freezing point is what we've created. There's never been a freezing point because it's never been able to be. All right. I don't care about it. Look, it looks delicious. There's a White Claw soft serve ice cream.
Okay, yeah, look, I would eat this.
Look, it looks delicious. I gotta tell you,
White Claw soft serve. This is what Jason eats before. Do they have a Four Loko before he hits Vegas, the Vegas Strip? Yeah, okay, I'm cool with it. I'm not mad at this at all. They need to make mochi full of booze. Like that would be awesome.
And look, this thing is FDA approved. So
is it? Is it?
It's not FDA cleared. It's FDA approved. So there you go.
All right,
it's good. So you can have some fucking alcoholic ice cream.
Nah, yo, look, college kids are going to be like, why don't we have some Jägermeister? I'm like, no, that shit's garbage and it tastes awful. Ugh. I do like the idea of a White Claw soft serve, though. The machine is $6,000. Oh, they're going to have this at the Green Turtle next summer. You fucking crazy college kids.
I made some mint chocolate chip with peppermint schnapps for like $20 at home.
I mean, see, look. You're paying $6,000. Go to James's house. $20. You're done. This man's figured it out. My story is horrifying. Woman finds 17 baby snakes in their mom under bed. I'm quote, I may need a cardiologist after this. This woman, Trish, revealed on Sunday that she found 17 baby snakes in their mother were making themselves at home in her bedroom after she first thought she had spotted a piece of fuzz. I'd burn that whole house down. Before going to bed, I spotted what I thought was a piece of fuzz on the floor, went to reach for it, and it moved. Nope. And then a second later, another piece moved, and I went to my husband and said, "We have snakes," which she should have been screaming that and using a pickaxe to hit the floor with it. Trish revealed that her husband, Max, used a grabber tool, placed the snakes in a linen bag, and released them into a creek near their house. No, you take that bag, you tie it closed, and you smack it against a brick wall until they stop moving. That is the proper way to do it. But apparently, Max is a, humanitarian. Where is this taking place? What type of person takes 18 snakes, puts them in a bag, and releases them gently back into the woods?
Ireland.
James?
I feel like Australia is too easy, so I'll go slightly north and say New Zealand.
You should have kept much further north. This is a very Russian type thing. This is actually taking place in Georgia. So.
Oh, I was thinking, the whole isn't there what Irish folk hero, Saint Patrick, right? Didn't he like swing a shillelagh or some shit and like a bunch of snakes?
Oh yeah, no, please tell us. Yeah, no, please. I would love a podcast where Micah talks about Irish folklore. Didn't someone swing a shillelagh? That happens in 90% of Irish folklore. That's true. Yeah, I think he tricks, like, doesn't he like trick all the snakes into the sea or some shit? I don't know.
Something like
James,
that.
you are more likely to know this than the two of us. I'm going to put Irish folklore on you.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's that he's famous for clearing the aisle of all snakes, and that's why there are no snakes there today.
See, James knew.
But look, my guess was rooted in some sort of lie.
Ignorance. It was rooted in ignorance. Swing a shillelagh. That's right. I knew an old Irish guy who would carry a shillelagh around. I was like, wow, you're like a walking stereotype. Amazing. Lovely guy though. James, your story.
All right. The title is "Used Woman's Shoe Thief Arrested for Second Time in 7 Years."
China. Is this the same person? Is this in China?
Not China.
Damn it.
It says 7 years after being busted for allegedly stealing over 200 pairs of women's shoes, a man from this country was once again arrested and deprived of his collection of 139 new pairs of women's shoes. On June 10th.
This is Japan, right? A man did it? This is Japan, right? Like, they're weird.
Yeah, it's 100% Japan. This guy's a 47-year-old office worker who's known to have a strange fetish for used shoes. The 139 pairs included worn nurses' shoes, high heel pumps, and sandals, neatly arranged on a blue tarp at his house. He got caught after surveillance video showed him stealing sandals valued at 500 yen, which is just under $5. So he got caught for $5.
Look, the man he's not a rich man. He doesn't have high quality taste. He just likes a good shoe. That's gross. No. Don't do that. Don't steal people's shoes. You're gross. Mm-mm.
Yo, what is he doing? What is he doing with them shoes? Yo?
He's having sex with those shoes, guys. Like, I know we don't want to think about it, but that's 100% what's happening, right? Like, he's putting his penis in the shoes.
Once they're worn out, it's time for a new pair.
That's why he needs 139. Yeah, I don't like how they have them laid out like they did a drug bust. Like, that feels offensive to me. Like, that's very unserious. Like, come on, man.
He had it out at his house.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they got like Pokemon boxes or like Gundam boxes sitting with these women's shoes. Like, come on, stop.
Yeah, he's got like model cars sitting there, like, but the boxes of the model cars.
No, I don't care for this type of behavior. And I'd appreciate if Cam just knocked it off.
He also has a nurse fetish because the first time he got arrested, 200 of the 244 pairs were nurses' shoes. And again, he got a bunch of nurses' shoes.
Jesus.
So unless this guy's bleeding, he should probably be banned from all hospitals and doctors' offices.
No, even then, no. Go around the corner. No. Mm-mm. You fix it yourself, you creep.
But the Japanese justice system moves pretty quick. He was arrested on May 19th and prosecuted 9 days later.
Wow.
Boy, they priorities, man. Yeah, that's how little crime they have over there.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to the foot guy.
So far, only 13 women have come forward wanting their shoes back.
Yeah, no, you burn those. Like, no, you got to chalk that up to a loss. Like, no, you can't. No, unacceptable. I'm literally watching a video. Japan is an amazing place, deeply fucked up and also incredible. You got like Captain Shoe Thief over there, the shoe fucker. But then, like, I'm watching a video. They built a robot fish that looks like a real fish. Like, it looks eerily like a real fish, and it swims. I don't know why you need robot fish, but robot sushi is probably not good.
Is it completely robotic, or is it a robot stuck in a fish?
I mean, it is Japan. That's a fairly decent question, but no, it's an actual robot.
Is it a drone?
I guess.
Like a submarine in disguise? No, you know what it is. Look, I'll admit when I'm wrong. All that bullshit I was talking, this is Beast Wars. This is the beginning.
This is the beginning of it. The ultra realistic underwater drone, modeled after an Arowana fish, has been getting a lot of attention online. Yeah, they showed it at an event that like sells tanks and missiles, and people are like, "Yo, I want that fish."
Yeah, man,
to shoot lasers out of its eyes. Wow, that's crazy. That's really impressive.
I know when I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
Is this Fishtacon or what's his name going to be?
Crustaceacon, some stupid shit.
Optimus Primal is going to look ridiculous. All right, trailers this week. Reminiscence. This is the new Hugh Jackman movie, where he's going through dreams to try to find his past wife, I guess. This is at a time where the world is flooding because we refuse to just stop burning fossil fuels. So people are getting into these reminiscent machines to relive their past. And he's trying to solve some sort of mystery of why his wife left him. And it's kind of a murder mystery, or maybe she was killed, or he thinks she's killed or something like that. But it looks very good. It looks quite smart. It's done by the same people who do Westworld. So I assume I'm too dumb to understand this movie. Like, you've watched Westworld, but you are also dumb. What do you think of this?
It is. It looks interesting. But it doesn't look like something that I would rush out to see. Okay. Thankfully, I don't have to.
That is correct. This is going to be on HBO Max as well.
Yep.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, perfect.
Yep.
What did you think about this, James?
I thought it looked pretty good. It has a lot of potential, especially with the cast, but been burned on that before with Now You See Me, so I only get so excited when there's a great cast. But I'm worried that they may be too in love with what was that one movie with everything, Inception? They're too in love with Inception and trying to do something weird like that.
Yeah.
It may end up being a weak carbon copy, but I'm hopeful. I will be watching it on HBO and not in the theater though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this feels like a 100% Friday night. All right. This was an interesting Hugh Jackman movie that's out. Why don't we check it out kind of thing. So look, I like Hugh Jackman. I'm always rooting for that guy. And and it's nice to see him do stuff that's not just comic book movies, because I think he's a real talent. Next up, The Protege. This is starring Maggie Q, and Samuel L. Jackson and the great Michael Keaton. It's about a woman who is some sort of super spy badass, who I guess her handler is Samuel L. Jackson. He gets straight murdered, and she goes on a revenge mission to find out why. It's funny because this looks just like the La Femme Nikita show that she was on. Yeah. And it looks like Michael Keaton really wants to have sex with her, but she also was trying to kill Michael Keaton. So, we've all been there. But I think this looks pretty interesting. I don't know that I would say it looks good, but I would say it looks interesting.
This looks like a Millennium Media movie, and it looks like a Maggie Q movie. Like, if you've seen the Millennium Media logo,
Yeah, that's
you know
correct.
exactly what this movie is. And if you've seen and this seems like something that Maggie Q would gravitate toward. So I say all that to say that I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, really? You're not a Millennium?
I'm not a fan of Millennium Media. They're fine. They're fine movies. Look, I watched a movie with Academy Award winning actor Nicolas Cage fighting a giant weasel robot. So I'm not dissing this movie. Okay. I'm just saying that the 2011 Conan the Barbarian film was done by Millennium Media. All right. I'm saying Drive Angry was done by Millennium Media.
Legend of Hercules was also done by Millennium. It's quite literally one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Right. Like, Angel Has Fallen has been done by.
Whoa, sir.
Like, look,
London Has Fallen was also done.
Look, I enjoy those movies, right? But I know what I'm getting.
Mechanic Resurrection.
Undisputed 2, Last Man Standing, and Undisputed 3, Redemption.
Oh no, the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Also. Oh no. Oh, that movie Jolt. Oh, okay. I'm not watching this movie. Hunter Killer. Yo, they have a fucking track record. Holy shit. Yeah, not the best. Not the best.
So, it is what it is. And I just don't know if it's for me. That's all.
So
Okay.
when you look at this director's known for the 4 movies on IMDb, it's a real hit and miss kind of situation. His number one known for movie is Casino Royale with Daniel Craig. Everybody loves it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Next known for Vertical Limit, the Joshua Jackson mountain climbing movie.
I like that movie. It's not good, but I like it. Isn't that the one where he runs and he's like, and he jumps with the fucking things? Yeah, I like that movie.
Yep, that's it. Then the next one was Mask of Zorro with Greek actor Antonio Banderas.
Oh, I like Mask of Zorro. Nope.
Oh, sounds like you are watching this, buddy.
I don't want to.
And number 4 was Green Lantern.
Nah, yo. No, I'm out. Nope. Look, you almost had me. Yeah.
Look, he did Goldeneye. You ain't lying. These are some hits and misses.
Yo.
God damn.
Swing and a miss.
The real problem is when you look at the writer, it's a lot more misses. His best movie may be the Denzel Washington Magnificent Seven.
That wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't great.
Look, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It feels like a Millennium Media movie, but
it does.
It's a movie.
He wrote the 2 Denzel the Equalizer movies.
I didn't even see Equalizer 2. I didn't feel the need.
But his next project is Craven the Hunter. So you'll be seeing him again if you.
Yes. Finally, a quality film he's working on.
God damn it.
It's going to be bad. All right. I think that's it for us. James, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any parting words, anybody?
I don't know if people know this. We talked about this earlier. Maggie Q's name is Margaret Denise Quigley.
She looks like a Margaret Denise Quigley if you forget that she's half Vietnamese. It's very weird.
So there you go.
Micah's a racist.
Some actual person who has the last name Quigley.
Like Quigley Down Under.
That's the last time I heard it.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, by the way, don't talk about Millennium Media. Sir, they made Rambo Last Blood. Don't do that.
Shut up. Shut up.
Killing's easy as breathing. He killed so many Latin people in that movie. It was ridiculous. Oh, I loved it. It was awesome. Not because they were Latin, but because it was ridiculous. All right, that's it. And we will see you guys next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.